Local governments, including Knox County, along with other counties across the state, are working to create regulations around data center development. Reporter Aaron Cantrell spoke with leaders in Middle Tennessee about their plans to be proactive.
It's important that we have transparency around this and make sure that we're accounting for any environmental impacts on the front end.
District 20 council member Rollin Horton says he wants Nashville to be proactive before more data centers make their way to Davidson County.
I looked to see what types of regulations we had in place in Nashville to try to govern these, and the answer was none.
Under the proposal, data centers would be categorized as small, medium, and large, with restrictions tied to zoning districts and how close facilities could be to neighborhoods, schools, daycares, parks, and even the zoo.
Large data centers, more than 500,000 square feet, that's roughly the size of 9 football fields. These hyperscale data centers that we see going up across the country, including in Memphis, those are banned in Nashville if this legislation passes.
The bill would also require data centers to use closed-loop cooling systems.
So they're not continually drawing more water out of the system and dumping polluted water back into the community, but instead have to use a contained system on site.
Despite those concerns, MTSU economics professor Dan J. Smith says data center development can also create major economic opportunities.
If across America we delay this technology, it's going to set us back compared to other nations. So we need to embrace it. But the problem is nobody wants it in their backyard.
Smith says while communities increasingly rely on data centers to power web applications, cloud services, and artificial intelligence,
everyone's for something, but we just don't want it in my backyard.
Smith says it will be up to city leaders to balance economic growth with neighborhood concerns, which is something Horton says this proposal is designed to do.
This legislation provides the opportunity for communities first to be informed about a proposed data center, as well as the opportunity to provide input on it, to make sure that any proposed data center is what the community wants for themselves.
Now, there are 61 data centers listed across the state of Tennessee. That's according to the data center map. You can see that on your screen. Most of those centers are in the Nashville area, but there are about 10 surrounding Knoxville and a handful in Chattanooga. Some states have already proposed legislation that would limit or even ban data centers for the time being. The National Conference of State Legislatures reports 14 states have introduced legislation, including South Carolina, Georgia, and Virginia. However, none of these proposed regulations have made it into law.